Phasma and Giants podcast, the podcast that talks about Doctor Who and Star Wars, hosted by Lee Croddick. Welcome and hope you enjoy listening to this episode. My name is Lee and you're listening to Phasma and Giants, the Doctor Who and Star Wars podcast designed to celebrate and entertain both fandoms. Hope you're doing well. Right now, Doctor Who and Nichols have finished the series. Success and Crew will soon be starting to promote. However, it's time for my first full series chat of the season, and as you know, it's the Bad Batch. With the usual iconic Lee twist, I am going to share my thoughts with all of you, and there's a lot to talk about, so let's begin. I was worried about the series, not gonna lie. I did have my criticisms. It didn't matter in the end, as I think it was very good. There were some moments that weren't my preference, but I was quite satisfied by the plot ends like Hemington and Omega's future. I like the addition of Batcher. I just enjoyed a lot of it, and the ending was beautiful. So let's get more in detail. I want to start with Roycie Hemlock. He was great, but he was right dangerous at the end, wasn't he? I think the high hopes of impressing the Emperor, then being pressured by Admiral Tarkin, then Rampart confronting him after Clone Wars 99 broke into Mount Tantus, made him more dangerous. And this is what happens in Empire when these Imperials go too far and too dark. At the end, he was determined to continue with Omega by himself. This showed him going too far, and after mocking the clones, Roycie pays the price and thankfully is defeated after being maimed by Omega and shot down by Hunter and Crosshair. Jimmy Simpson's shout, he was great. He made Emma more evil than ever, and great vocal delivery as well. Emrika is a character that had a long way, and at the end, her development paid off when she made the decision to help the clones after torn down from Echo, which I feel is important. She is doing her job, and then she starts to say children being used, how she is overpowered to do stuff until Echo comes in. She ends up doing the right thing, and I'm happy she lived as she deserves to live and improve and do the right thing. Nalase's sacrifice is not to be forgotten as she took down the traitorous Romper down with her, and rightfully so. I also say justice for Nalase. She deserved way better, but she cared for Omega and did the right thing. I have to speak about the weasel himself, Edmund Rampart. Rampart definitely wasn't going to change. He clashed with Crosshair, tried to harass Nalase. He murdered her, and her death was the catalyst for his death. Nalase obviously had the detonator to destroy the bomb. Whilst Rampart killed her, it automatically detonated the bomb and he was caught in the blast. Rampart had to go because it was so dangerous, and his death was one of the yes moments of the finale, like Hemi's. Noshi Della was iconic as Rampart. The assassin clones were back, and there was more of them this time around, and they were like Clone Force 99 because they had skills like them, like accuracy and strength. There was one persistent clone that never gave up on the mission and was so scary. I was satisfied at the demise of the assassins by Wrecker, Vic, Echo and Hunter. I felt that they had to come down a peg or two, and the defeats were iconic. The bounty hunters were on fire this series, including my personal favourite hunter, Tavagoa, Cad Bane, Miguel Fetchan, and Asai Queen Ventress. 3 episodes in a row and 3 hits in a row. For me, Asai stood out. She was really awesome and I loved how she was used. Huge shout out to Nika Furman, Corey Burton and Ming Na Wen. Before I talk about our favourite clones, I want to give a tribute to the clones that were lost during the franchise. Fireball, Namek, Tech, Mayday, Rico, and all those who have fallen to her about Atlantis or throughout, thank you, we miss you. Now for Clone Force 99. Crosshair stole the series. I loved his story, it was beautiful. He had struggles which made him enduring, and especially at the end when he defeats Hemlock in revenge for everything he has done to him. I can't stop saying how good he is. Hunter never gave up on saving Omega, and he got his daughter back safe and sound twice in the series. His story at the end was all about settling down to give Omega a life, and he did that. And that's why I love this ending. I loved that he was strong to let Omega go and fight in the rebellion in the end, and then he comes through. Whatever Rad did was they made us suffer, but gave us this beautiful moment, which is beautiful. Echo comes to his true potential as he's been looking for Mount Tantus with the Clone Underground Network. I like the fact he gets in on his own and ends up starting all the events by sneaking past and impersonating a guy. He rides the Rain Princess and helps defeat the CX Troopers. I'm happy as he lives to continue his good work and helping the clone network. Omega's story. I'm not a huge fan of the damsel situation, but she's a fighter and that's what she is. She's shown near the end, saving the children from Hemlock. She, like them, got a happy ending. I will talk about the ending in a bit, as I think it deserves its own section. Wrecker was a legend. The poor guy had me worried in the second half from his string of injuries, and I thought he wasn't going to make it, but I'm glad he survived. I loved how worried he was, and he later became a little more reckless when the odds were against him. I loved the Clone Underground. I liked that they did a 2-part story on Tef and the consequences of Clone X finding their location. I want to see more with this Underground and how Rex, Gregor and Wolf end up on that planet. I hope we get to see another animation show on this. It's rumoured that there will be a new animation show. Don't know if it's true, but hoping it happens. I also want to give a huge shout out to Daniel Logan, Ron Sets and all the cast. Thank you so much for everything you've done and bringing every single character to life. Endings have recently been a hit. I remember the days of the Stephen Moffat era Doctor Who where his last 4 consecutive Christmas specials had one of the best endings. Jury Whittaker also had some of the best endings. The ending in question is Omega leaving for Rebellion. This is a scene Deep Red Bigger I'd hit about being a father in the pre-season paid off to me. Hannah's journey from soldier to caring for a daughter alongside his brothers is beautiful. I like the fact that he says he's not ready and then lets her go and knows he'll be needed if Omega needs him. I think the found family situation is why this show and The Mandalorian are a success. Also, other shows do the same in the Star Wars franchise. I like the fact that found family is not just a great arc, it's also for me as well. Huge thank you to Dina, Sean and Kevin Kiner for the hints and music. They made the experiences of fun interested for the last 4 years. Their music was so beautiful. I still love it and listen to some of the old classics. Thank you. Also to Jennifer Corbett and Brad Rohr for creating the story, and once again for Jennifer's hints throughout the series. They made the story endearing and beautiful and hopeful. I want to thank the cast and writers for making characters that I can relate to. I felt seen. I understood what it was like to be different thanks to Clone Wars 99. Like with Tech and Wrecker, I have certain similarities to members of the group. This is something I remember fondly and will look back with happy memories. Thank you. I would like to share some of your comments from social media. I asked you what you thought of the Bad Batch, and here are a few of your replies. From Max Question Terrier 13 on Threads, I enjoyed this season very much. I liked the first they pulled on and seeing Vendorous and Fincham brought it closer to home, that the Batch were indeed was, but not without leverage. Like many fans, I was hoping that something else might happen to it. It's Star Wars, it's possible. I still liked how the season ended. I particularly enjoyed Hemlock's end. I hope the creators find ways to bring Omega and the Batch into new stories. Cheers. From at Just Tracy X on Threads, it was an amazing season and Tech Stuff really fed everyone in different ways. I loved that Crosshair came home, and once him and Hunter made up, you could tell he was really happy to be back with his family. I'm glad it was just the boys that saw Mount Tannis. It makes sense that they could do it alone. There are elite commands, and for Hunter to get his happy ending meant everything to me. Thank you for your comments. That's it for the Bad Batch. I enjoyed the journey. I hope you did too. I do hope animation continues, as animation is just as important as live action. Stay tuned for fan reviews from Series 2 and Series 3, as there may be other surprises as well. If you like this episode, click the like button. If you want to see more from me, click the subscribe button and turn on the notifications so you're up to date with the next episode and reviews. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye. Thank you for listening to Phasma and Jarrins. Please get in touch at Phasma22 on social media. If you love anything I do, please subscribe to the Phasma and Jarrins YouTube channel. I hope you enjoyed listening to this podcast, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye-bye. Thank you for listening to the podcast. Subscribe to Phasma and Jarrins and stay tuned for more podcasts. See ya!